How's it going, guys? Today we've got Tucker Carlson versus an identity politics Looney Tune who thinks you cannot be white and poor. Oh no. So, to all my audience that, struggle to feed themselves, sort of live on week to week paychecks, that's not actually happening to you because you're not black. It's just such a crazy argument. So let's jump into the video.
Suraj Patel is an attorney and professor at NYU's Stern School of Business, and he joins us tonight. Mr. Patel, thanks very much for coming on.
Thanks, Tucker.
So, how disappointing. I wasn't a Sanders voter, but I certainly respected his willingness to make a case for economic populism back in 2016. And I agree with a lot of the things he said, honestly. How disappointing is it to see him become another identity politics drone? Why is there no room in the Democratic Party for someone to just make a straightforward economic case?
Well, Tucker, I don't think that he isn't making an economic inequality case, but you cannot talk about economic inequality in this country without talking about racial and economic disparity because of the systems we've built, because of the legacy of slavery and Jim Crow and internment and all those things. Well,
there are no institutions in America that are keeping black people down. There are institutions in America that are keeping, say, white and Asian people down. It's called affirmative action. And you cannot blame slavery and Jim Crow for current day American black people's failings. That's just ridiculous. Yeah, it might have a slight influence, sure, but Nigerian immigrants, for example, into America do very well for themselves. How is that possible if there's institutions that if you are black, you just cannot succeed? It's just such a dumb argument.
what he's saying basically is that that things like race and inequality are inextricably intertwined based on the institutions we've built and the legacies of them. And it's only responsible that it's only
now you're confusing me because you're making a case that bears no relationship to the facts or the numbers. So
wow, someone dealing in identity politics not actually having a case that bears out in reality? Geez, that's never happened before now, has it? And remember, guys, Bernie Sanders is one of the people that said that if you are white, you have no idea what it's like to be poor. Like me, for example, sometimes I struggle week to week. And when I check my bank account, I don't actually have much money in there. It's just that I'm insane. So there's tons of money in there. I don't know what, my brain can't see it or something. It's just so insanely racist. And I've been dealing a lot with Captain Marvel and how she just apparently hates all white men. And it's really just the gall of some of these people to tell white people that are struggling that, oh, no, you're white, so yeah, you have no troubles in society whatsoever.
the richest people in America are not white people. Immigrant groups, actually, including African immigrants, Indian immigrants, I think are the richest group in the United States.
No, that's
your
right,
average
that's
Nigerian immigrant makes more than your average native-born white American. So it's a lot more complicated. I'm not sure what that means exactly, but I know that what you just said is totally false.
It is very complicated, but the fact of the matter the fact of the matter is that you are, by and large, statistically speaking, the darker you are in this country, the poorer you are. Some of that's
but hold on, wait, that's not true. Wait.
I can't believe he's actually making the case that the darker you are in America, you're just poorer. It's just, oh, you're a really black guy, well, yeah, you're definitely going to be poor because the institutions are keeping you down. Just pure identity politics drivel that has no bearing in actual, in the reality that we're living in, as most immigrant groups do a lot better than white Americans. You have no facts to back this up whatsoever. You're just trying to obviously speak to a base that wants to continually be a victim. Like Jesse Smollett. He's rich, but oh, he's a black gay man, so he must be oppressed in modern day America.
Hold on, wait, slow down. That's not true. It's so much more complicated than that, that what you're saying is a lie. And so Asian immigrants, for example, have the highest educational attainment level and the highest incomes of any group in America. Okay? So if what you're saying is true, and again, I'll agree with you on this, it's super complicated. But what you're saying is not complicated. It's painting a picture of racial division that isn't backed up by the facts, and you know it.
No, that's not right. Look, Tucker, what we're saying is simply this. We know, for example, the criminal justice system creates significantly unequal outcomes for people based on their color or background.
I hear this argument a lot from these identity politics muppets. So his argument is basically, if a white American and a black American are pulled over by the police and have the exact same criminal history, then the white man is going to be let off so much easier than the poor, oppressed black individual. When in actual fact, that black guy, on average, has, past criminal convictions. So they get more of a sentence because they have committed crimes in the past. But he's acting like, oh, no, we'll let you go, Mr. White Man. But, oh, I'm sorry, black guy. You're going straight to jail. And you're never coming out again. It's just, you have to just completely ignore reality or be an absolute liar to believe this drivel.
Like that black people are given stronger sentences, surveilled more often, and policed more often. That puts them into a cycle of poverty at times that you can't get another job after you have a felony on your record. You have a 1 in 3 chance of being incarcerated or put on parole by the time you're 30.
There's some truth to what you're saying, that people of all colors who are convicted of felonies have a really tough time digging out of it. And I have real sympathy for them.
So I think what I'm saying is Bernie Sanders is not...
Hold on. What you just said is untrue, and you know it's untrue, that the darker you are, the more oppressed you are, when in fact,
I didn't say
most
oppressed.
poor people in America are white, as you know. The poorest state is the whitest state, West Virginia.
So
let's stop lying. Look, I'm not making the case for any racial group. I'm making a case for a non-racial approach to policy, which is the only one we can have without wrecking the country. No?
And there is...
Yeah, asking the Democrats to stop taking a racial approach to policy is like asking water to stop being wet. At this point, if you want to find a racist in any single Western country, just look at the Democratic Party or the version of that party in other countries. Or the media. As, geez, like 95% of them are just massive racists that say, Brie Larson, for example, will attack white men repeatedly, and she is sung as this feminist hero. It's just disgusting.
No doubt that the single best argument and single best candidate is going to be the one who is able to convince that white working class voter that they have more in common, their lot in life right now has more in common with a single black working class mother in Queens or somewhere than they do with someone like Jared or Ivanka, who are born with everything.
No,
So basically you're saying that Trump should be elected once again, as he actually did make a pretty fair case on that fact. As the Democrats, I just saw Detroit. I saw a video of Detroit. Holy shit. That place is just like a garbage heap. I feel really sorry for the people that live there. And, the Democrats have been in power for quite a long time, and they haven't seemed to have really done anything. Actually, they've made it worse. So, really, to black Americans, what the hell do you have to lose? As the Democrats just treat you like a voting bloc. Once you vote for them, they completely ignore you. They'd rather rally for illegal aliens. Just seriously, the Democratic Party is just abhorrent, and most of the Republican Party are spineless weasels. So I really wish we had a Trump in our country, as you're just very, very lucky.
You're offering another species of identity. Like, why do I care about the color of voters? I mean, Bernie Sanders in 2016 never mentioned anybody's color. He's like, look, you're getting exploited by your employer in these big companies. That was a colorblind case, and the Democratic Party hated it because it has a stake in racial division. You know that that's true.
Tucker, it's like I said, you can't approach the issue of inequality without talking about and looking at some of the racial disparities in it. And that's all people are saying.
Really?
Yes, you can. You absolutely can. Maybe you as a Democrat can't, but to normal, sane individuals, they can absolutely look at economic inequality without bringing it back to race. Oh my gosh. Because you said there are institutions that are keeping the darkies down. What institutions are they, mate? You didn't name a single one of them. Tucker brings on the point that, most immigrant groups come in and actually do better than white Americans. Wouldn't the institutions in America keep them down when they came into the country? And are all these people just morons then? Why would a black person come into America if there are institutions that are going to make them fail? What, are just all non-white immigrants just absolutely retarded?
How did Nigerian immigrants wind up making more than native-born white Americans?
All Nigerian immigrants have not done that.
You've officially lost the argument. Obviously, not every single Nigerian immigrant has done that. But as a group, on average, they do. Are you joking? Oh, well, not every single Nigerian immigrant has done that, so that disproves you, Tucker Carlson. Oh, you lose, you're wrong. That's just so retarded. Come on, he never said all, mate. But on an average, as a group, they do a lot better than white Americans. Just as not all white Americans are poorer than Nigerian immigrants. God, you have lost just to such a degree if that's going to be what your argument is.
All Nigerian immigrants do not make more money than all
But if it's
other
as
people.
simple as the blacker you are, the more oppressed you are, like, that's just not true.
And that's not what I'm saying. You're simplifying this argument to make it sound
simplifying
ridiculous.
it. Okay.
The fact of the matter is, like I said, that identity is intertwined with this, and it's not that you need to sit there and always talk about identity.
Well, please tell that to the Democratic Party, because that's all they do. You have Democratic candidates up and down that smear their Republican candidates as massive racists. Look at what happened in Virginia. I think it was Kavanaugh. I'm not an American, so I followed it a little bit. He called his Republican counterpart just a massive racist. You should fear him if he gets elected. It comes out he wore blackface. And so he's the actual racist. And yet the Democrats don't seem to care whenever a Republican is falsely blamed of racism. Oh, well, he must be. There must be something in his past. Whenever a Democrat comes out as being a massive racist, oh, what do you mean? He can change. He can. Yeah, he doesn't believe that now. He believed that in the past. You guys just suck. You're just absolute hypocrites. And I think most people are just sick to death of you just spouting out lies.
Of our voters, of ourselves that are running for office.
Okay.
What you have to do is at least show the curiosity and the understanding and the acknowledgement that we have significantly treated races difference in this country in the past, and that
I have a lot of curiosity
today.
about what the facts actually are, which is why I'm bringing this up tonight. And I just think, look, race is a dead end. Let's bring back the old Bernie Sanders. You disagree. Mr. Patel, thank you very much for joining
Thank you.
us. Appreciate it.
Yes, obviously races have been treated differently in the past, but the solution to this problem is not to now discriminate against other races. Before it's blacks, now it's whites and Asians that are getting discriminated against. Because the wheel just keeps turning. Obviously, white and Asian people are not going to keep standing for this. You know, when an Asian person gets their, I'm not sure what you call it in America, but when they get their score reduced by, like, I heard up to 40 or 50 points, just because of their race, that's just disgusting. And it lets a less qualified black individual get into that university because of their, it's just disgusting. But anyway, guys, I'll be covering Jesse Smollett because he is in some deep trouble, which is fantastic. And also, over my Patreon, I'm going to be listing out a couple of the projects I'm going to be doing, so people that support me there, could just read through it. If you've got any suggestions, I'd love to hear it. And anyway, yeah, I'll catch you in the next video, guys.